Hello, my most amazing artists. This week we're focusing on one of my favorite artists, Keith Haring. He was a painter, a muralist, and he was world famous, and he was very generous. If you missed it, I read a book all about Keith Haring's life in my videos, so you can go back and watch that to get a little more background about him. Now, Keith has an iconic style. He has these figures that are bending and twisting in all these different ways, and then they have big bold black outlines with little black marks around it to show movement. And he was really inspired by break dancers and how they could twist their bodies in unique ways. And that's why when we look at his art, you see some of those crazy shaped bodies. Here's a picture of one. Now, we are going to kind of experiment with that idea of movement today, and we're going to be creating sculptures of moving bodies. So we're going to be using tinfoil to create little tinfoil figures that we can bend and twist to create different body movements to make sure that they look like they're doing different activities. This guy could be diving into a swimming pool, but we're going to be learning how you can take some tinfoil and create a fun sculpture that can move and twist and show all kinds of fun movements, just like Keith Haring's artwork. So what you're going to need for this project is a sheet of tinfoil and a pair of scissors. So gather those up and let's get started. Okay, to create our tinfoil dude that is going to be able to move and change positions, we need to start with a sheet of tinfoil. Any size will really work, but you just need a sheet of tinfoil. And we are going to be making 3 cuts into this tinfoil. I'm going to kind of mark them out for you. At the bottom of your tinfoil, you're going to try to find the middle here. And you are going to be making a cut at the bottom. It's not going to be very long. It's not going all the way up to the middle. It's just going to be a short little line. You, of course, do not need to draw these lines. Usually I do not do that. I'm just doing that to kind of help you visualize where your cuts are going to go. At the top, we're going to make 2 cuts. So we're going to kind of split this into 3 parts. So I'm going to find the middle, and I'm going to try to find kind of the middle of that. So if this is my middle of my top, I'm going to look for like the middle in between here. So maybe like right here, same on this side. And these are going to be about the same length as the ones that you just did. So 1, 2, 3. Then with your pair of scissors, you are going to cut in those spot areas. You're going to have 1 cut at the bottom and 2 on the other side. Alright. So I'm going to keep it kind of like that. I'm going to have my 2 at the top, or my 3 sections at the top and my 2 section at the bottom. What's going to happen is that the 2 section is going to become the legs of our guy, the middle section becomes the head, and the 2 side sections at the top become the arms. Now before we start to crumple this and form our bodies, I want a little reminder of how to kind of crumple your tinfoil. You want to work slowly as you're crumpling, because you don't want to crumple too fast, because once you crumple it as hard and as tight and compressed as you can, it gets very small and compressed, and it's hard to undo that without ripping it. So go slowly, don't compress all the way in, don't squeeze with all your might, because it's going to get way too skinny. You kind of want to work it slowly. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to form the waist of our tinfoil guy. The waist would be our torso, where our tummy and our chest is. So we're going to grab our tinfoil from the sides, and we're going to very carefully pinch in towards the middle. And I'm not doing a lot of force, I'm carefully pinching in. So right now this looks like a big mess, right? So I've got my 2 pieces up here, I can see 3, 1, 2, 3, and my 2 pieces down here. Now you see I didn't pinch the waist all the way in, he's not as skinny as this guy yet. But I just wanted to kind of start with that. Now, I've got my 3 pieces at the top, my 2 pieces at the bottom. We're going to form the legs next. I'm going to take one of the pieces, and I'm just going to lightly squeeze it and compress it. I am not squeezing with all my might because it will get too skinny. I'm compressing it a little bit. Same thing on this side, compressing it a little bit. I am not squeezing too hard. Now we got some legs. Okay, let's move on to the top. So the middle piece is going to be our head, and our two side pieces will become our arms. I like to do the arms first. I always like to do the head last. So same thing with the legs. I'm doing the two outermost pieces. I'm not compressing all the way. And now we can do the head, and you just want to kind of make this head into some kind of ball shape. I'm not compressing all the way again, so I'm kind of just molding it into a head. I can squeeze a little bit down here to give them more of a neck, but this is just kind of an abstract looking person. So there we go, we've made a person. So now you can start to pinch in more if you want to. Do it a little bit at a time. You don't want to make them too skinny. Maybe you want to bend some feet at the bottom. You could do that. Now, if your tinfoil will happen to tear during this, you could try it again. You might have been working too fast. Remember, tinfoil can tear pretty easily. So now I've got this person. He looks like he's doing jumping jacks right now. The fun thing about this is Keith Haring always was able to show a lot of movement in his artwork. Remember, if you read that book that I have a video posted of, he would watch people break dance. So one of the cool things is you can bend the legs back. Now he looks like he's dancing. He could be running. Maybe this is a ballerina. So you can try to experiment with a couple of different types of body positions while you're doing this. Woo! So this is an easy way to kind of create a fun sculpture out of household objects, and you can have fun with figuring out those different body positions. Maybe you want to make some friends and they could be like doing karate together. Hi-ya. Or you could make like a small animal. You could try to figure that out with creative problem solving. How can you make this look more like an animal? How can you add a tail? How can you add some ears? So have fun with this and try to create a lot of different movement with your art. And that's how you can make a sculpture out of tinfoil, and how you can make it a bendable, movable sculpture. So like I said, you can experiment with this in so many different ways. You can make multiple people doing different activities. They could be interacting somehow. You can show movement in a lot of different forms. You could even try to create some animals using tinfoil and see what you can come up with. Have fun creating. Goodbye, my most amazing artists.